Did it right this time. Looks like everything's working. Hi, I'm a professional. Hello, everyone. AmyR here. Face, card making space, live, unscripted, unfiltered. Welcome to the chaos. The unpaid intern sitting in the corner.
Yo.
He's gonna help. Today should not be near as chaotic as last week's live. I've actually done a little bit of prep. I sort of know what I'm doing this time. I get no promises. It's always chaos. It's always chaos, you know? And I thought I was like, yeah, I'm like so prepared. And Chris is just like sitting here waiting for me. And I'm like, oh yeah. I go live in like 2 minutes. Ugh, whatever. I'm tired, y'all. But it's all good. It's all good. Hello to everyone. Hello, hello. Everything should be good. And it does seem like everything's working. We're here. I'm on screen. I got supply lists. Yeah, I think we're good. I don't know why. I don't know. Lately, there's a lot. I got a lot on my plate. I'm tired. Oh, I have a request. I forgot. That's what I forgot to do.
Oh, sweet.
Can you deal with the disgusting forbidden water and get fresh water? Do not drink it. There's like metallic pigments in that, so really don't.
But if it's silver.
Yeah, just no, don't even. Just, we need to be able to do. I don't even know. I'm actually no, I might do splatter today. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, hello to everyone. It's looking like everything is working, which is good. Everything's good. I'm just tired. I'm tired. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Nothing horrible, just a lot on my plate. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I have plans. Most of what I'm going to use today is some oldie but goodie favorites. I will have, like always, links to everything in the description box below the video. That applies to any video, whether I'm live, it's edited, whatever it is. I always link to all the things because one, makes it easier for everyone because it's like, oh, what was that? Check the description box. Two, affiliate links. I got to get better about doing that in my lives. I do it in my edited, pre-recorded videos. Thank you.
Straight from the Evian water pack.
Oh yeah, totally. Whatever. Yeah, my links are affiliate links. So that just means that when you click on someone's affiliate link, and then if you do end up ordering something, I get a little. If it's my link, I get a little kickback from that. It does not cost anything extra. No shenanigans like that, and then that adds up throughout the month, and that's what helps, pay the bills. Okay. Tim's live yesterday was fabulous. It was. I was working through the whole thing, but I had it on and I was just like, as always. So yeah, if you missed it, Tim Holtz was live yesterday. He usually goes live on Saturdays, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays. And he did say yesterday, like, there's plenty more coming. Like, he's probably going to go live next Saturday and the Saturday after and the Saturday after that. Here for it. Love it. Tons of inspiration, especially. And because I am going to use some distress product. And that is something to keep in note because there's a lot. There's a lot of distress products. We've got inks, multiple types of inks and sprays and textures and so many things. And some of them, they're not as obvious from the get-go, like how you should use it or like the best way to use it, yada, yada. When you ever have questions about that, one, check his YouTube channel. Because almost guaranteed, really, that there is a video for it. His lives are obviously very long, 2 to 3 hours, worth every second. The other thing that they do, though, because his are so long and there's so much info packed into them, is if you go to it, and you click the description box below it, he's got people that go through now and like separate it into chapters. So it's like if you want to know about that specific product, if it's in that live, it's listed, you click on that, it'll take you right to that spot in the video. And then same with his website, all of it. Like there is a ton of information out there. Tons. Specifically from him. And then all the rest of us are figuring things out. Doodly doo. So yeah, always worth having that. And then, and that also, because like I said, I'm using some distress stuff. There's a code in the description box below the video because Simon Says Stamp is giving 20% off Tim Holtz Ranger products. I have the link and I have the code in the description box below the video. And that ends potentially tonight. Usually they'll end, but I think it'll carry over tomorrow into Monday, because when Tim goes live on Saturday, usually Simon Says Stamp gives it a couple days, for people to watch and, order whatever they want to order. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Like, we're basically from here on out, from today on, it's going to be just tons of content and inspiration, not just me, Tim Holtz, everyone. This is the season, fall and Halloween and holiday and all the things. And Stamptember is coming. Stamptember's coming, you guys. We got like 2 weeks to go, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be chaos, but in the best way possible. So that's also why I'm just like, so much admin stuff behind the scenes, but everything's good. Okay. That's enough like blabbering from me. Doodly doo. I gotta just make sure I'm doing everything proper. There we go. Switch down. Let's actually start making something. And then I've like I said, I was doing a little bit of prep, not a whole lot. So I did this just a little while ago, but because I wanted to give the ink a little more time to dry. And like I said, I'm using several oldie but goodies. A couple of them are also on sale. And I linked to the sale category. I always do. But speaking of Stamptember coming, Simon Says Stamp is putting just a bunch of stuff on sale on top of everything else, just to like make room. Because again, holiday releases and all the things, and Stamptember. Stamptember's coming. It's coming. So a couple of things I'm using are going to be on sale. This is just a favorite. This is the thank you text background stamp. I've used this in a bajillion videos. And all I did was I just stamped it onto Neenah Desert Storm cardstock with white pigment. Where's my white pigment ink? That's what I used. There we go. I did that. Nothing crazy. And I did it before we went live because I wanted to give it a chance to just sit for a bit and not be like just freshly inked, because I don't want it to fully smear. I don't really care if it does per se, because we're going to stencil over it. But it just gives a little texture, It's just a little something. So I did that. And then let's figure out what we're doing here in this very professional video that I'm so professional in. Where's my grip mat? Where are you, grip mat? Is this the one I want to use? I don't think it really matters. I have so many, and it doesn't really matter which one I use. Here we go. Let's get a grip mat. Okay. Get that too on my desktop, not for the iPad. You can tell from the chat has started. Oh yeah. Yeah. When we're dealing with like just technology, it's not even just live streams, just technology in general. Number one, refresh. That's usually, it's something I tease the unpaid intern about a lot with his job. I was like, did you turn it off and turn it on again? That's, yeah, that's literally, did you turn it off and turn it on again? Because 99% of the time, that's the issue. So yeah, if things are showing up weird or not showing up at all, especially with a live stream, refresh. Unless everyone's saying like, oh, you're gone, because been there, done that. But so far the lives have been working. Okay, so I got a grip mat. I got that. And then stencil set. I was like, what am I doing? You guys, again, my brain, it'll take me a little bit. Once I get going, we'll get going. It'll be good. But yeah, so this is on sale. This is an oldie but goodie favorite. This is the Floral Whimsy layering stencil set. This one's on sale. So it's like, ooh, fun. So I've done videos using this. I love it. And yeah, pulled it out again because I was like, why not? Why not? So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use that. And we're going to do stenciling with oxides. So I posted about this yesterday that they just got here. And again, specifically with these, if you haven't seen this or realized, because Tim said for many years, because the oxide started coming out back in 2017, 2016, 2017, somewhere on there. I forget. They posted about the timelines. But anyway, when they originally released the Distress Oxides, They only did them in full-size ink pads. Minis were not available, and for years, all these years, they weren't gonna happen. Tim kept saying it wasn't gonna happen, it wasn't gonna happen. And then they just did, like, less than a month ago, whenever it was. And he actually explained how they were able to do it, so I'm not gonna I'm too tired, but also there's no point in me repeating. He did a video. It's on his YouTube channel under the live, and he explained, like, they actually Ranger had to, like, completely make new molds for the cases for these, which is a very big undertaking. Like, I'm not surprised they did it, but that's one of the reasons why it took so long. Stuff like that, like changing your manufacturing process is a huge deal. So that was how they were able to make this work and like stabilize formula. Anyway, so right now these are the only colors available because they'll do it in like chunks, something like that. So I ordered them. Did I need them? No. If you've got the full size oxides, do you need these? No. You know, I like having the minis. It's a convenience factor for me because, like, I can have all these colors, you know, just right in front of me. I have all these to play with without having like stacks of ink pads. That's why I like the minis. Same with the Distress minis and same with my mini ink cubes. Do you need both versions? No, not at all. Ever. You just don't. I like having both. It just depends on my mood, what I'm making, yada, yada, yada. So, I yikes. I yikes the minis. And just again, FYI, there's a set, and I have it linked, but it's in that sale category of like all the new mini oxides, the storage tins, and the new little blending brushes, whatever. It's like a big bundle. That's on sale too, and I think you can use that code on it, so doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to try. So we're gonna use that because I love, and I've done this many times. We're gonna talk about. I love how oxides look on specifically like craft cardstock, like Desert Storm cardstock. And that's one thing I didn't figure out is what colors I want to use. So that's what I got to figure out. We got to figure out what colors we're going to do the stenciling in. And I think I want to do, well, picked raspberry, obviously. That's one of my favorite colors. So we do picked raspberry. We could do, do I want to do festive berries for these ones? Maybe. We do picked raspberry. We could do festive berries for those guys. And then these little guys, we could do peacock feathers. Or should we do, seedless preserve. That's another favorite of mine is seedless preserves. No, we could use, you guys. Indecision. We'll use seedless preserves for the little dotty bits. Greens, we will be doing crushed. Let's do peeled paint. Maybe a little bit of crushed olive. And then these little guys, what if we did yellow? Yeah, let's just start there. Let's just start there. Oh my goodness. I just started buying the mini distress inks. Do you find they're much drier than other pads? No. No. It's going to depend to what you're comparing them to everything else, but yeah, and I've heard other people mention that with the distress minis. Again, distress inks and oxides, but distress inks are in a category all by themselves, literally. I've talked about inks a lot. I've got, my Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated inks, my Concord 9th inks, and my Altenew Fresh Dye inks. Those are my three like full-size ink pads. Those three are very similar in form. They're all water reactive, smooth out, blend, all the things. There's many other inks. Just because I don't mention them doesn't mean the ink isn't great. For all my love of all the colors and all the things, I can't have all of it. I literally don't have the space or the budget. But distress inks are separate from those. That formula is unique completely. I have never, with all the inks I've tried, seen the same reaction because the chemists at Ranger with Tim Holtz, they did, whatever black magic they do. So it behaves differently. And those inks, distress inks, and even oxides, they're not formulated for stamping. That's not what they're meant for. You can do it. You can do it. I've done it a million times. It doesn't matter. But that's not what it's formulated for. And it's meant more for techniques, the blending, the splattering, the smushing. ink, you know, all of that kind of stuff. That's what these inks, that's where these shine, is the techniques. But you still can stamp with them. It's just I see it a lot is people will use a distress ink besides the oxides, but they'll use it and they're like, "Oh, I really didn't like them. They didn't stamp very crisply," you know, all these things. And I was like, "That's not what they're meant for." But again, that's where watching Tim's videos and the explanation, it helps. And then again, there's a lot out there, and I try to give as much info as possible with the time we've got and all the things. But yeah, I do recommend though, when you're dealing with minis, whether it's these or the Distress Ink minis or any other mini ink cube, you know, my Simon ones, all of it. When you're dealing with mini ink cubes, I can't recommend enough to get the reinker. Like, in the end, does that cost the same as a big full ink pad? Yeah, basically a little bit more, really, the cost of it all. But you're dealing with a much smaller um, real estate. And especially inks like this, where you're using them for techniques and I'm smushing them and doing all the things, you're going to be re-inking them more frequently. So I do recommend having the re-inkers or just having it in your head to eventually get the re-inkers in the near-ish future because you're going to need them. You are. So hopefully that is... Did you get your garage cleaned up after the leak? Yeah, kind of. It flooded again. It wasn't awful. Like, we're not talking like it wasn't like we were wading through water. Thank goodness. That is one of the perks. The way our house is built, we're actually like our driveway is on quite an angle. So the chance of our house actually flooding is slim to none. But yeah, water got driven in again through the rain and the wind, through the corners of our garage doors, and like soaked my carpet in here and just meh. Everything's fine-ish. I just what it would take to move some of this stuff to really make sure that I don't have like mold growing in here. That is one thing that's in the back of my head. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. When? No idea. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully it's all good. So anyway, I hope I kind of explained that within reason. You know, it's, yeah, I would say like any of the distress inks, whether they're the regular inks, the oxides, the minis, the oxide minis, first impression, like when they're brand new, they do seem drier than others, but I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know how to, like, there's not really a way to show it, but it's just the looks can be deceiving. Like, I have no problem, like, any of the inks I've ever got, it's very, can mishap happen and something shows up and it's completely dried out? Yes. If that's the case, contact the manufacturer. Rule of thumb is to contact whoever you purchased it from first. Add photos. Be kind. I shouldn't have to say this. Most of you know this, but I'm just going to say it because working in this industry, I've seen even Tim Holtz, he's talked about it. Some of the emails that he gets, and people are like screaming at him in an email, and I'm like, wow, you know. But anyway, things happen. They do. Weird, bizarre little glitches happen, and something might be completely dried out. Whatever. Contact who you bought it from, and then, you know, they'll point you in the right direction and figure it out. But yeah, I've never had that happen ever, and everything's been good. So hopefully that makes sense. I need brushes. That's what I forgot to grab. Where are my brushes? Okay, I'm gonna use my oxide brushes so that we can do some ink blending. What's the difference between oxide inks and the others? Oxides have pigments in them and they are formulated different. I'm not gonna go into the full nitty gritty. Tim Holtz has already done it. I know he's done a video, more than one, explaining the difference between oxide and distress ink. But oxides are a blend of pigment and dye inks along with whatever it is that they do to distress inks. And that I cannot say because I don't know, but they do something different. These behave differently. And my biggest love for these, though, is one, how they look on dark cardstock, and then, of course, how they react with water, which we're not really going to do today. However, I do have a video coming. It will mostly, if I can get it uploaded. I was done like editing and everything. I was supposed to go up yesterday, and I just, like I said, I was tired. I'm still tired. But it has a video coming. that will get posted probably this evening. And it uses oxides, and I get mushy and ink smushing and grungy. One of my favorite things to do with distress inks and oxides. So, yeah, that will go up this evening, most likely, or tomorrow, but most likely this evening. Because, like I said, I was editing it and I got most of it done, most of it. So let's actually get to some stenciling. So I'm not just like sitting here yapping. So yeah, these ones are sized. This is it Floral Whimsy? Yeah, Floral Whimsy. This stencil set is sized for A2, like to create an entire pattern. And can you see? Yeah, it's got etch lines on it to line it up with a piece of A2 cardstock. So 4 1/4, about 5.5 inches. So we're gonna line it up. And then I could do these salt. You know what? This might be one of the few times I'll do a little bit of fiddliness so that I can make the centers a different color, which won't be very difficult. So let's take a little bit of Post-it tape to do that. It shouldn't be too much. Why not? Let's be a little extra today, just because we can. So I'll use those in a second. First, we're going to take our picked raspberry. And where's my... That was the other thing. This will make my life easier. Okay, let's just do this and this, because then I can go like that and be all like extra and stuff. Dupe. We'll do this one, and then I need a color for the flower centers, which for that I will do walnut stain. Okay. What do you generally do with the cards you make on regular videos? I send them to people. Some I send to the brands I work with for them to use for advertising purposes. And then a lot of them I send to my Patreon supporters. I send out a lot of cards to my Patreon supporters. And then, yeah, at some point I will also do like a, I'll have a stack and I'll do a give. I've been promising that for forever, and I'll post about it like on either my blog or my Facebook page, and I'll do another like giveaway for people that don't watch the lives. Because yeah, during the lives I give these cards away. But yeah, the rest I send out. Okay. Yapping, surely not you. Oh, I know, I yap a lot. Can't help it. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. Okay. One thing I noticed about the oxides is they blend you. Oh, they do. Oxides, as Tim says, because his voice is always playing in the back of my head. I've already made it very clear I'm certifiably insane. So yeah, his voice in the back of my head. But when I'm using oxides, it's always creamy, dreamy. It's like it's true. They are. They are creamy, dreamy. Like they blend so beautifully. And actually, because these are like very fresh because they're new, they're going to completely cover. They are going to completely cover that ink I did. You know what? I wonder, do I want to do this differently? Let me think for half a second here. No, you know, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. If I done the blending with dye inks, for the most part, it wouldn't fully, because dye inks are transparent. Again, oxides and pigments sit on top. They are opaque. If I did this with dye inks, you would still be able to see, but because I did stamp this with white pigment ink on Desert Storm, there is that chance that it would just kind of blend it away, if that makes sense. You know? So, is that a bad thing? No. You know, it just is interesting. It's always interesting. So, we're going to blend the picked raspberry onto these florals, and I'm avoiding the flower centers because, like I said, I want to do them a different color. So, we'll do... Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna blend the picked raspberry. Again, I love picked raspberry. And you know what? Let's add a little bit just because I'm still gonna use the seedless preserves for the little dotty part of the stencil, but I'm gonna add just a little bit. because it is true. Oxides blend so nicely together, and one of my favorite combos is seedless preserves and picked raspberry. They're just meant to be together. I just love, love, love. So we're just gonna add that little hint of purple into these because we can. Doop. Love it. Yes. Yes, I like that. Okay. I think Tim needs to market a shirt of something that has all his little phrases he says. I know, right? Although there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There is a lot of them. He has all his little phrases and things, and yeah, the shirt would be covered. But yeah, would we all buy it? Of course we would. Of course we would. Like I said, do you need all the things? No. Do you need multiples of all the things? No. And yet I'm the person like in his chat, like a dirty shirt, speaking of shirts, and I'm just like, I need everything, all of it. Hence me ordering all the Oxide minis. No regrets, man. No regrets. I don't care. I don't care. Like, yeah. Use what you've got. Don't feel the pressure. Have fun with it all, you know? And options are great. Now we have even more options, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's a yellow. That's a yellow flower. Doop, 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 doop. And then we'll add mustard seed to that little guy. Right, and then the flower centers before we pull this stencil off. So I don't get a bunch of brown in my little blooms, I'll just take just a smidge of Post-it tape like that. Just so that me and my heavy hand doesn't get all over the place. There we go. Simple. And then just keep kind of repeating that. I think I'll be able to mostly make this work. Let's do it again like that. Doop. There we go. And then one more time with that one. Like that. And like that. Yep. There we go. Boop. There we go. So we got our little flowers, and as always, the reveal is the best part. Get out of there. Oh, love it. Kathy's here. Hey, Kathy. Yeah. I'm the queen of the Kathy Zielski fan club. I am, and I've already told everyone you can fight me on that one. So, yay! And I did that way before Kathy's poor live. So I think my Chaos Gremlins flew south and visited her because her live stream she accidentally ended last week. She fixed it quick. But yeah, I messaged her after and I was like, welcome to the club. I did that during a live when I knocked something over on my stream deck and ended the live right in the middle of it.
No going back.
Yep. And that was like intent. Like I did that. You know, though we're not even going to talk about the amount of times in those lives. Those of you that have been watching a long time that know the amount of lives that I've done with all the tech gremlins we were dealing with and, you know, cameras freezing up and don't miss that. Do we know what we fixed? No.
Kind of.
No. He keeps claiming, and I was like, what honestly do you think we did differently? Honestly. Like, that's literally what we were doing, is unplugging things and replugging them in. And, you know, it's like, maybe if we plug it into this, whatever. I won't bore you guys. It's just chaos. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, your AC is fixed. That too. Yeah, water issues and tech gremlins and all the things. You know, we make cards on the internet for a living, and some of the bizarre stuff that we have to deal with is... It's nuts. It's nuts, man. Like...
Just to make cards on the internet.
Yep. I don't have an air conditioner in here. It happens at times where I've thought about getting one installed, but the cost has always stopped me. And... yeah. Those sorts of things, like leaks and just all of it. All of it. I've got my heater though, because again, I'm in Saskatchewan, and that's also what's coming. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Not looking forward to it at all. But yeah, we got our heaters. Everything should be good. You know. Okay. Yes. So picked raspberry, and then a smidge of chaos is my middle name. Yep. And then a smidge of the seedless preserves just to like blend it into each other. Just gives it that little extra something. Boop, boop, boop. Like so. Yes. There we go. Yes, I like that. Okay. And then we do doobly. Where's my little jig? So I can quickly add brown like that. So that's walnut stain. Boop. And then repeat on that one like that. Boop. Simple. And then we got to do what am I? 2 words. Tax deduction. I know. Oh, I know. You know, that is one of the perks of doing this as a job, is writing the things off. But yeah. I've managed to make it this far without needing the air conditioning unit in here. Again, we're in Saskatchewan. It'd be different if it got like super hot, but our big thing is it gets cold. Like, heat is the important thing. It's winter half the year here. Literally. Winter usually starts setting in November.
Yeah, sometimes we have snow by Halloween.
Yeah, we usually get snow in October, but yeah. Winter is November, December, January, February, March, some of April, like half the year. Crazy. Okay. Oh, hey, Libby. Hello to everybody. And yes, foam ink pads, which Simon Says Stamp has foam ink pads. Concord and Ninth has foam. And then, yes, I had seen that Simon Hurley did his in a foam version now. Foam ink pads do need to be re-inked more frequently. Going back to my discussion about needing reinkers, or you should have reinkers if you have mini ink pads. But even if you have full size or minis, doesn't matter. If they're foam, because these are your old school linen felt with a linen top. And it varies across the brands, but foam ink pads do need to be re-inked more often. It's just that nature of the foam means you're able to get more ink at once for your stamping and your blending and all the things. Pros and cons to all of them. It doesn't matter. But foam ink pads do need to be re-inked more often. Boo to tons of winter. I know. Truth, but at the same that's just life. It's life. Some parts of me, I don't mind the winter, honestly. It's kind of nice. Winter is the best in the sense of I do not have to get prepared first thing in the morning. Like, I take my kids to school, my hair's not brushed, I don't have a bra on, I don't even have clothing. I'm wearing my pajamas. Don't care. Because I'm throwing on a winter jacket that goes down to my knees, a toque, a scarf, all the things. I laughed so hard. One of my kids' teachers, the one during a parent-teacher interview, and they were like, "You are so put together." Like, you look, and I literally burst out laughing, and I was like, "Have you looked closely at me first thing in the morning?" Because I like roll out of bed, and yeah, again, he can laugh because it's true. He knows. Me in mornings, I hate them. I hate mornings. I am a just garbage human being in the mornings because my brain just takes a long time. And I'm just like trudging my kids to school. And yeah, no bra, pajamas, but you can't tell. Got my nice little winter jacket on, my boots that go up to my knee. Like, I am covered head to foot, you know? So yeah, I love it. I love it I love it so much because it's like I just don't have to care at all about anything.
Basically, like cold armor. Like,
It kinda is. It kinda is. Like, that way I genuinely love that for winter. It's like, I just don't have to I don't have to worry about like, what shoes should I wear today? Or, like, what shirt do I it's like, I don't it's all getting covered up, man. The only time it matters and I did that we'd gone to Costco the one Chris and I had gone to Costco, and it's like, we're getting groceries, and I'm getting hot and sweaty, and I go to unzip my jacket, and I realized I was still in my pajamas, and I didn't have a bra on. I was like, "Crap," zipped it right back, and I was like, "We need to get these groceries and get out of here because I am not presentable." So, yeah, for that, I love winter. It's great, man. So yeah. But for everything else, it sucks. Like, trudging through the snow, literally, like, walking to school. I'm not even exaggerating. There are times where it's like, "Oh, it doesn't seem that bad." Get halfway there, and it's like we're wading through drifts that are up to my thighs in snow. Fun. Fun times. I think the one time I phoned you and made you come pick me up.
from
There have
where?
been a couple like, going to school because it was so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, "Oh, you think it's not so bad," and then you get around the corner and start walking, and I was just like, "I'm trapped in the snow, can you come get me?" So, yeah, fun times. Uh, oh, I wasn't paying attention. How do you know if okay, first off, how do you know if it's a foam pad? Oh, you can tell by looks. Let me I'll grab one. I'll show. Just give me one. What one do I wanna grab? Give me 1 second, I'll grab one. You can tell just by looking at them when it comes to the difference between okay, back to like card making and the difference. This is a foam pad. This is one of Simon Says Stamps Positively Saturated Inks. This is the cube. It's the same thing with the full size ink pad, but this is a foam focus camera, a foam pad. And I don't want to press my finger, like it'll get covered in ink immediately, but this is foam. And let me get out of your little holder. And this one, here we go. This is felt with a linen topper. So when you look at them side by side, you can just tell. Now, obviously, these look very different because this is an oxide, so it's pigmented. It's very light. It's got that. I don't like calling it chalky because oxides are not chalky, but yeah, there is a difference. And you can generally tell. And it should say with the listing, with whatever ink pad brand, whatever. Always check that too sometimes, It'll say when it describes like whatever, blah, 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 but most will describe and say foaming pad. The ones that don't say anything, I would just generally assume. But if you're not sure, also Google's your friend, because it's like, oh, I've never heard of this ink line. Do a little bit of research, because some people don't like the foam. Some people don't care for the linen top. Like I said, neither one is wrong. Neither one is necessarily better than the other. It just kind of depends. And I have both, and I don't care. I don't care. I think they're both great. Um, there was something else. Do you have to keep your heat on even when you're not out in the garage to keep things somewhat climate controlled? Yes. And then that one is important because when we're dealing with like inks and stuff, like right now, this time of year, no, the heater's turned off. Not even concerned about that. The minute we start hitting freezing temperatures, my heater goes on. I turn that on because all of these, you do not want to leave inks, spray, liquid products. You don't want them to freeze. Is it the end of the world? No, if it happens. But I've had people because they're like, oh, I plan on putting like a bunch of my stuff in storage. I'm moving or whatever the thing is. I have had products shipped to me because I'm in Canada. So, they got to get across the border, all the things that will arrive in the middle of winter, like frozen solid. Frozen solid. Not like ink pads, frozen solid. It's 50 below here sometimes in the winter. It gets cold. When that happens, I don't even open them. Like I just let them sit until they come back up to room temperature, and I've never had an issue. However, I'm not going to keep allowing that to happen, especially things like my sprays and stuff because water, we're talking physics here, when it freezes, it goes and expands. You don't want you just don't. You don't want bottles bursting Ink pads, a little less whatever. But yeah, I don't allow this garage to freeze. One, the energy costs if I was to try and warm it up, and I'm in here 7 days a week. I work all the time, so this area never gets cold. Okay. I think that was all of the um I prefer the felt pads. The sponge pads never use too much pressure when inking. Yeah, that's the only thing to be aware of. That is the one of the big differences between felt and foam. Felt is firmer because it is felt, so you can with it and you can all those things. And if that's what you're used to, because that's what we had for most of the years. Foaming pads have only been on the market for X number of years, not near as long. But you need a much lighter hand with these. You don't need much. Like tapping, and especially when they're brand new, there's a lot of ink in here. So when you're inking up a stamp, very light, just doot, 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 very, very light. When you're using a blending brush with them, very light, like just doot, doot, doot. It takes a little bit, because especially if you're used to just being pretty heavy-handed, and again, I'm the queen of heavy-handedness, it just takes a little getting used to. But yeah, to each their own. Can be the opposite issue. Boxes sitting on my porch in the summer in the heat. Yes, and heat can do its own things too. Extreme temperature variations with I'm not necessarily ink pads, but like liquid products, so reinkers, sprays, all that, like extreme temperature fluctuations, glues. There are some adhesives that the brands say they should not be shipped during the winter because the freezing of them chemically alters the makeup and it separates. And I have had happen. It's really rare though, you know. And like I have had a couple glues in the past that I've ordered. They showed up frozen solid, and then when it did come to temperature, it was like, what is this? And you couldn't just like shake it back up again. They were messed up. It happens. Again, I'm so used to it. I don't even think about it. I was like, when we bring in a package from the mail, it's like when it's the middle of the winter and everything's frozen, it's like, well, I just let it sit for a while. let it warm up again, and then we're good. Then we're good. And yeah, exactly, Sherry. Like certain things, glues are the biggest one. Glue and pastes can be too, because again, that nature of those types of formulations that freezing it can permanently alter. Whereas so many other things, thankfully, it doesn't seem to do anything. But that's also why we need to use our things. Do you need all the things? No. Do you need every version of the things? No. Do you need every single color? No. But also, like, use them. Some stuff we can curate and hoard. Pattern paper, cardstock, that sort of stuff, great. But our inks and our pastes and our glues, use them. Because if they're just going to sit after a while, they ain't going to work no more, or they're going to dry up. Okay. Oh, there's other chats going on. That's fine. Okay. Love it. Love it. So we got that. And then let's do, because there's this decorative bit. That's what I'm going to do in the purple. So let's line up the greenery stencil like so. Yes. It's got our greenery. So for that, we need to move a couple of these guys out of the way. Burp. And I want to use the crushed olive and the peeled paint, because why not mix some colors together? Because we can. Okay. So we'll do that. Crushed olive, did I just say that? Probably. Crushed olive, peel paint. Those will be my greens. Where's my green brush? There's my green brush. And this has been discussed many times, but I keep a separate set of brushes for oxides. Do not mix your blending brushes. Can you go technically between pigments and dye-based ink pads? Yes. AKA you can use a brush that you used on a dye-based ink pad, so a distress ink, all the other inks, and then I can use it in here. No issue. However, the brushes I use on these, if I was to take, and I'm not going to do it, but if I was to take this brush that is full of oxide, so it's full of pigment, and use it in this, those pigments are going to transfer and they will eventually wreck your ink pad. If you weren't paying attention and you did it once, is it the end of the world? No. If I got, wasn't paying attention and I went, you would be at one, you'd literally be able to see it. You'd be able to see the pigment. And all I would do with that is just kind of mush it and take maybe a paper towel and just kind of wipe it away, possibly rink it if I needed to. We're good. But to prevent me from doing that, and because I jump between all the things, I keep a separate set of brushes dedicated to my oxides and a set of brushes to my dye-based inks. That's what I'm doing. Could you wash them? We've already talked about that. I ain't doing it. I ain't washing my brushes. I ain't got time for that. And besides the fact, if you're going to wash them between, let them dry for 3 days. It takes forever. So I was like, no, ordered myself extra brushes, and that's what I use. So I keep a set dedicated to oxides and a set dedicated to dye-based inks, and life is great. Oh, thank you. Can't give you. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I can't give you a newly renovated garage. I know. It's okay. We'll survive. It's not awful in here, thankfully. At times, when the flooding and the spiders, which, again, the unpaid intern has had to deal with me in the meltdowns or the screaming, and I'm just like, oh. Or I'm literally texting her because the kids are freaking out because there's a spider in the house. So I'm texting Chris. I'm like, help now, alert, emergency, go deal with it, because I don't want to. I'll do it. I try not to pass on my arachnophobia to my kids, but
it kind of happened.
They came by it naturally, and I've done it, especially when I was a single mom before he came into the picture, and I was all like, oh, just a spider, that's fine, we can totally. And then it's like after the kids are like in bed or whatever, I go and have a meltdown and cry in the shower or something. I'm like, it was awful, I almost died, oh my god. Oh, that gif from The Money's in the Banana Stand. What's that show? Arrested Development. That gif of him like crying in the shower. That's me. That's me and the spiders. Anyway. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh my goodness. 222. Yeah. So blend our crushed olive. Doodly-doo. Onto this background. Like so. Quick, simple, easy love. Oh, and I think, I mentioned that at the beginning when I was going on about like the Oxide minis. They're releasing them in sets. So they've released this, set of 24. And then at some point, which will be soon-ish, because Tim did say in the live he did when these were released that all the colors would be available by the end of the year. Crap. I'm going to have to budget for this. Anyway. So in the near-ish future, the next set of 12 or I assume 24, and then they'll do the final set. And do we know exactly when? No, none of that's been said. But he did say the plan was to have them all released by the end of this year. So, yay for that. And again, does everyone need them? No. Do I need them? No. Am I going to get them? Yes. I do. And for me, it's the convenience factor. Like, I love my Oxide inks, but I love having minis because then I can have all the colors sitting in front of me. And then I'm not whining as much about needing a bigger boat or needing more space. Because when I'm using full-size ink pads, sometimes it gets very chaotic and I have them like stacked everywhere and then I'm knocking things over and crying. Whatever, Okay. Like, I'm nothing if not neurotic. So there's our green. Burp. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. But in the showers where I usually see the spiders, thankfully, ours, that's never been an issue. But ours upstairs. We have a bathroom downstairs. That has happened. I've been informed of that. And I've also heard the shrieking as a result of it. One of my kids has told me, she's like, it was awful. It just came out of nowhere. And I was like, again, I'm like, as they're recounting the story, I'm ready to just run. And I'm just like, oh, that must have been so hard. I'm glad you dealt with it. And inside, I'm just screaming. So yeah. Yep. Actually, Pam, I could say that. Pam says, I always say that this house was built on an ancient spider burial ground and that they're out to get me. Maybe that's what happened here.
There's nothing blocking the north, so
It's not even that. We have so many. Our house is covered. It's awful. Like, awful. It's so bad. It's so bad. And yeah. Don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't even like talking about it. Gross. The only time I don't mind spiders is when I'm making cards for Halloween. Halloween cards, that's my exception. I've talked about this because I do it's real. Even ask him. My arachnophobia is horrible. But when I'm making Halloween cards, give me all the little die cut spiders and little googly eyes and even creepy ones. Doesn't faze me at all. But if it's a real one, no. Just no. No. Nope. And no. Okay. Oh, this was upside. I was like, why is this not lining up properly and like going over? Okay. Yeah. Not that it overly matters because this is just a little sort of embellishment part of it, but there. There we go. Okay. Yes. Yeah, tiny ones don't bug me as much. And we're not even going to talk about wolf spiders or any of those big, nasty, gross ones. That's why we live up in the north where it gets freezing cold and everything dies. I love it. I love it so much. That is another reason. That's another thing I love about winter. You know, it kills all the greeblies, man, or drives them deep, deep, deep away so that I don't have to deal with them. So, you know, winter may suck for 6 months in a sense, but at the same time, it is glorious. So glorious. I love it for that. I don't have to deal with the greeblies. Okay. So, yeah. And if they're outside, not as big of a deal. Because they do. They're great we need them for the ecosystem. They eat the mosquitoes and all that kind of stuff, you know? I acknowledge that. I'm fine with them outside, just not in my space or in my hair. Okay. We're adding the seedless preserves. Let's just move on. Yeah, we're not going there, you guys. We're not going there. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I refuse. So, I'm going to add the seedless preserves for all these. And this, again, we could use like a pretty paste, a metallic paste or a glitter paste or something for this, just as little whatevers. But one, because I'm live and I don't want to sit here and wait for paste to dry because that does take a while. We're just going to use ink to do it because that's going to be simple. And that's all I want to do. Doop. Doop. Doop, 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 doop. Get in there. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Like, how simple was that? Even with all my interrupting myself and talking and distractions and everything, I made a background. Very simple. Oh, no, and it did actually come through. Now, as the ink is drying. Oh, I like how that worked. Because my other plan was to do just stencil the panel and then stamp that background on top. That is another option. But, oh, I like how it, as the ink dried, it kind of just ghosted through. That's fun. I wasn't expecting that. Love it. Love it so much. Yeah, you guys, I'm not reading the chat right now. Not reading it. I don't want to know. If you guys want to keep talking about spiders and gross, creepy, crawly thingies, no, I'm not reading. No, thank you. No, thank you. Winter is coming. Yay. You guys are going to make me lose my mind. Okay. Anyway. So that's our background. I love how that turned out so very much. And then what I want to do is trim this down. Because yeah, right now it's A2 size, so 4¼ by 5½ inches. Derp, derp. But I'm going to trim this down a bit, so it's a bit smaller than my card, so the card base can frame it a little bit. So I'm just going to take off How much do I want to take off? Do I want to take off a quarter? Yeah, I'm going to take off a 1/4 inch off each side. Just because I can. So we'll do that. And then that. And that. There we go. So now it's like 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Just, there we go. And then, so we got our background. And I've got an absolute mess going on. And my skin is like being extra oily today. So my glasses are sliding, which really seems to irritate some people for some reason. Anyway. Okay, let's get rid of that. So get that out of the way. There we go. Okay, we have our background. I definitely want to add some splatter. Do I want to add it before or after I add it to the card? I kind of want to add. Let's do the card base, because then if I stick this card base, because I want to add some black splatter, just because I can. Where's my card base? I don't even know. What am I doing here? I'm a professional, okay? I'm super professional. Okay. Doodly. Yeah, we got a ton of mosquitoes here. Mosquitoes are the worst. Gross. Okay. Card base. So, when I said I was, this is how it's gonna. Yeah, see? Just nice, crisp whiteness. Really like this stencil. I'm so glad I pulled it out. Okay. On the inside of the card, I'm going to take our trusty Post-it tape, which this one I will stick to when I'm done with it. I stick it to my die cutting machine and I reuse it over and over and over again until there's nothing left of it. But I put the Post-it tape right where the score line is so I don't stamp past that score line. Keep things a little crisper. There we go. And then I need my background again. The thank you text. And this is generally how I use my backgrounds. Back in the day, back in the olden times of stamping, when we used to have to walk uphill both ways through the snow to our craft rooms, before we had stamp positioners and clear stamps, anything, this is how you had to use them, was face up. Because we didn't have tools for that kind of stuff. Like, it was Wild West, man. And that's how I still use most of my background stamps. Can you use a stamp positioner? Yes, especially if you're specific, like wanting a clear, crisp, perfect impression. But 99% of the time, perfection's overrated, and I'm just kind of whatever. Anyway, I'm making this up. Speaking of foaming pads, I'm using Simon's Fawn Positively Saturated ink, and I talk about this in the video that's going to go up later, and I've talked about it in many videos. If I'm doing something on the inside of the card, whether like a full background stamp or if I was going to use the stencil set, just to add to the inside, I try to avoid using oxides or pigment inks if it's going across the whole thing, only because pigments sit on top of the cardstock, and which looks beautiful, hence this being gorgeous. But when it comes time to write, with a pen, the oxide ink or the pigments, it's not the oxide ink, it's the pigments, interfere with the writing, and it's annoying. It's annoying. I remember at one point I was filling out a bunch of cards, and the ones that I had done like heavy like oxide stenciling or stamping, I was like my pen kept catching on it. It was annoying. So that's why I'll switch. I don't mind a little bit, and oxides are great, but that's the explanation, the method to the madness, So I'm just gonna ink this up with the Fawn ink. I just want something light and kind of to mimic the Desert Storm cardstock that I'm using on the front. Doop, doop. And then I'm going to press my card base, which I'm going to push this down a little bit. There we go. Line that up and commit. And then just press it with my fingers. And like I said, you can use a stamp positioner. Use your MISTI or stamp wheel. Whatever. I'm just not worried. about this. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just extra. There we go. And this will dry back a little bit. And then I'm going to stick this to my die cut machine and I'll use it next time. And I'll stick that over there because I got to clean that off later. Burp, derp, derp. So, and again, this will lighten up a little bit, but I'll write with like a black pen so it'll be obvious. And then the other thing I want to do, where's my sentiment? I'm going to use, speaking of Kathy Zielski, I'm using her U2, like number 2 little stamp set. We're going to use that. I thought that would look cute with, thank you. I'm going to use You Are the Best, which I'm pretty sure is the same one I used before, but it's like my favorite one. I'll use that one. I really like this scripty one, but I think this one stands out more. So that's what I'm going to use. And for this, I am going to use a MISTI. So we're going to derp. What are we missing here? The 2 p.m. on Sundays, 2 p.m. Central time. I always specify that. It even says it in the graphics, all the things. 2 p.m. Central time. That's actually not the time here. Again, we're in Saskatchewan. We don't play these games. We don't do fall forward or fall back or spring, whatever it is. Spring forward, fall back, whatever. Whatever ridiculous names are made up for all that crap. I've ranted about this before. Time changes should not be a thing. Daylight savings time and all that. That was during the wars, people. We don't need that stuff anymore. And now we have technology. Who cares? Stop it. Stop changing the time. It drives me nuts. Literally. We don't do it here in Saskatchewan, other than one random little tiny area in our province. We don't do any of that. But I have to coordinate around it because of all the brands I work with and where they're located. And it's like, this one's Pacific time, and this one's Eastern, and this one's Central. So but I go by Central for my lives so that everyone knows. Because if I said 2 p.m. Saskatchewan time, everyone would be like, what is that? And it would change, depending on what's going on. So, 2 p.m. Central. That's my Sunday. My Sunday schedule, the only schedule I keep. Everything else is just, it really is chaos, friends. It really is. Okay, let's line these stamps up. Make sure they're straight. Are they straight? It looks like they're straight. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I thought we were central. We're not. We are the same as Central Time when they fall back, which is in is that November when they fall back?
Yeah,
Something.
something like that.
What again, you guys? Oh. Then Saskatchewan time is the same as Central Time. When they spring forward, it changes. So for me, here in Saskatchewan, even though it's 2 p.m. Central is when I start, it's actually 1 p.m. is when I start. So again, this is what I don't like it. I don't like it. They need to stop. They need to stop for the good of all mankind. They need to stop. Time zones, I get that. I understand easily, but the springing forward and falling back and all the shenanigans. Yep. There we go. So I stamped that with Nocturne ink. There we go. So yeah, they should just do away with those completely and just leave it. The time should be the time. People shouldn't have to lose an hour. Oh, that just irritates me. And then they gain it back 6 months later or whatever. And it's like, why? What was the point of this? I understand why it was, unveiled all those decades ago, but now it's like, do away with it. Just stop it. So yeah. There we go. All right. So I got the inside stamped. So there's the inside of my card. And yeah. It's been proven that the time change affects everyone else. Oh, 100%. I can totally see that. Yeah. If I lived anywhere other than this province, I'd be losing my mind. more than I already do, you know? It's like, you're taking away an hour of my sleep? I will riot. I probably would, though. Seriously, you know? Like, no. Just no. It's so ridiculous. Okay. So I did that. And then do I want to pop this up? Because I am going to stack. Yeah, I'm going to pop this up with some. Oh, I didn't like that. No. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I forgot to link to it. Add the Big Mama foam tape. Go to, scroll down. Go to my adhesive list first. No. Simon. Yes. Down. Yes. That. Adhesive. Because add the Big Mama and the scissors. Thank you. And the scissors. That's why you're just supposed to enter on the blank. He's learning. That's why he's done paid intern. Yeah, there we go. It's recent time still stand still. In some ways, yeah, time does stand still in Saskatchewan, but I am here for it. It's so much easier to just not have to deal with that. But again, I do have to pay attention. Because, you know, when I have deadlines and releases and all the different things, so when the time changes, my number one Google thing constantly with everything I'm always doing, it's what time is it Pacific? What time is it Eastern now? You know, like always. Because I was like, what time does that mean for me? Like, what time does this video need to go up? What time does this need to be? You know, it's every day. Every day, I'm always, even, yeah, right now, I'm always like, what time is that Eastern again? Yeah. So fun. So I'm going to put Simon's Big Mama foam tape on the back of that. Yeah. Just get rid of those daylight savings baloney. We don't need it no more. Like, things were different all those decades ago, but now with a global economy and technology and the internet and all the things, there's just no need for it, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's just a torture device. Okay, there we go. And then we're just gonna peel off the backing. Burp. Like so. There we go. And then I'm gonna take that, as always, making sure that my card is in the right orientation, so I'm not adhering this on the back or upside down. Been there, done that, because especially with this foam tape, once you've committed, you're committed. You're not going anywhere. Okay, so that's popped into place. Now, as is tradition, splatter. Let's add just a little bit. We're not adding a lot because I have other little elements and my sentiment stuff, which I don't want to get splatter on. Where's my stuff? There we go. Okay. Time change November 2nd. November 2nd. I will forget that. I know I'll end up, because there'll be posts and social medias and all the things popping up right, you know, leading up to it. Because I'm gonna forget that. And I think it's in my book. It's in my planner too. It'll say like time change or whatever. Or, yeah, daylight savings, whatever it says. Cause yeah. So black gouache. Just a smidge. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And we're gonna add, so yeah, a little bit of black gouache. Hey Mari. And then we add a little bit of water to the gouache to thin it out, because it's too thick on its own. So we'll add a bit of water. And we're only going to add, like I said, just a bit. Just a bit. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's a bit, okay? That's it. No, I lied. There we go. That's it. Now we're not anymore. I just wanted a bit. Just a little bit on there, you know? There we go. Doop. Okay. There's that. And then wipe this up because this stuff does stain. The gouache cleans up with water, but this black gouache does stain. Just always be aware. Get it on me. Don't really care. That's fine. So we got that. And then gonna see, I got it everywhere. I got it whatever. There we go. Let him dry. Doop. Don't need that. And then what I did was I had pulled out the Fancy Thank You wafer die. This is also was in the sale category I spotted, which can't go wrong with that. So I die cut the words just from white cardstock. I didn't use the outline. I'd thought about, do I want to add a vellum outline to this? No, I don't think so. So we're just going to stack these together. I was able to get them die cut before I went live, but I didn't have time to stack them. But that's not going to take very long. So we're just going to add the layers together. And Angie, that white gouache is great too. I use that one a lot for splatter. You can't go wrong with it. And the fun thing with the white gouache is, and I've shown that in a bunch of videos, is you can tint it to whatever color you want. You can't really get it black. Trying to get something into a like black shade from white requires a level of too much product to make it like actually work in a sense. But you can basically get almost any other color because I've mixed all kinds of inks with my gouache to make different colors. So yeah. But yeah, my black gouache, love that stuff so much. As is evidenced by the fact that I have used a big chunk of this tube, which I never thought I would. I laughed so hard when Kathy texted me because I influenced Kathy Zilski to get some. She's like, this tube's enormous. I was like, haha. Have fun with that. She's so much more lighter handed than me. You know, much more demure and mindful with her splatter, whereas me, I'm just like, ah. So yeah, I've used up a ton of it. Her tube will probably last her for the next 30 years, you know. Mine,
30 days.
yeah, maybe. No, I've had this for like well over a year now. I forget when I ordered it. It's been a long time. But I joked at first. I was like, "Oh, I've got like multiple lifetimes of splatter." Yeah, no. I'll end up using this tube up. So yeah. Doop doop doop. Add that little bit of liquid glue so I can stack these together for dimension. Because dimension is life. So there we go. And there we go. Love it. Love it. I'm really loving it. I know, Mari. I'm really liking this glue. I need to order some extra bottles. Especially before it gets freezy out. There we go. Okay. And then the other thing. I've shown this before. I talked about this before. I don't think you can't really see it on camera. But if you do have little die cut fuzzies, because it happens, little cardstock hairs, I wait till I've stacked everything together first. Because once they're stacked together, it's stronger. You know, we got some heft. There's some heft to it. And then I just take a little toothbrush, an unused toothbrush that I keep with my little tools, and I hold everything down and I just give it a good scrub. And that will remove those annoying little die cut hairs, those little cardstock hairs. And then we're good. Do. There we go. Couple little strays. And we are... Get out of there. There we go. There we go. Fabulous. So we got that. And then the other thing I pulled out... Let's see, are we... Oh yeah, this is mostly dry because this is going to go here. See, this is why I wanted the white and the white. Yeah. So I die cut this. I forget the name of this. It's a leaf something or other. It's a leaf. It's a leafy sprig. Yeah. Do I want to use that? It's not going to say white. I'm going to add color to it. But, do I want to add color to it? Do I want to use this? Let's add color first and we'll see whether or not I add it to this card because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I wanted to. So I die cut it from the white cardstock. And then we'll use the same greens that I had used for the greenery. So the peeled paint and the crushed olive. And then derp. So we got those. And then I'm going to add the ink to these little die cuts. And then, like I said, we'll determine whether or not I even want to actually glue them to this card. So we'll just get the ink on there first. Like that. So they can have some color. So add the crushed olive. Like so. And then I'll go in and just add a bit of the peeled paint towards the base of the leaves like that. There we go. Yeah, we'll see. Let's add it to. I die cut it twice because I was like, why not? Why not? Well, thank you, Robin. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was my very first professional teaching experience, really. Was last year's Cozy Comfort Retreat with Altanu, and I survived. It's a whole different beast doing that kind of stuff versus my chaotic little lives, you know? There we go. Okay. Doop, 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 doop. And yes, oxides are so creamy dreamy, so simple. Ink is added. Let's wipe up my mess. Doo-doo-doo. Makes me think of Phoebe from Friends. Leafy. I know. Wasn't that last week we were talking about Friends? I love Friends. Love it. One of my favorite shows. And yes, we also acknowledge that a lot of it is problematic. Things don't age well, man. Especially stuff from the 90s and early 2000s. Doesn't age well at all. But Friends is one of my favorite TV shows. Like, yeah. Quote that one constantly. I have the Friends Lego sets. Never put them together, but they're here actually in my office. I can like right in my eyesight. And oh, I also have. Can you hand that to me? While we're speaking of Friends, the Polly Pocket.
Yeah.
Like I love Friends, I do, and I got this. Gosh, what was this? A couple years ago. It's ridiculous. I've never. Okay, just side note. When I was a kid, like Polly Pockets were a thing. I never had one. Like for many reasons. But I always wanted one. I would have loved Polly Pocket as a kid. So then this was released and I jumped on it and I had to have it. And I'm probably, you know, I don't know if it's still available anymore or anything, but like I've never even taken it out of the box because it's just, and yeah, it's shaped. Does it show? Oh, I already lost one of the pieces fell out. No. Oh, her microphone. But yeah, it's actually shaped like a coffee mug, you know? So I keep that on display. But yeah, crap. Her microphone now. Oh, because her microphone's supposed to go like right in there. Anyway, okay, can you put that back on the shelf? Don't drop it. I'll have to pop her open and put it back. But yeah, that's my little Polly Pockets. So yeah, Leafy. Yeah, Phoebe. I love Phoebe. I love all of them. It's just, yeah. Joey doesn't share food. We were talking about that last week. Okay. So I've got my little die cuts because I thought it would just add a little extra something. So my plan was kind of to go like this-ish. We'll see. And then I would add this. I could probably just take one out. Yeah, we don't need both. I'll save the other one for something else. One is good. One is good. It just gives that little extra something, you know? So there we go. We'll add this little guy with little dabs of craft tacky glue. Not craft tacky. This is the Pawsitively everything glue, whatever it's called. Pawsitively something, yada yada. Pawsitively perfect craft glue. That's what I've been using for a while now. I like this stuff. It works great. Okay. Little dabs of that. There we go. And then we're going to stick it like that. There we go. There we go. And then get some of the schmutz off my hands so I can adhere my sentiment. You've got the Lego display for it? Yeah, and I do too. I've got the Lego ones. I'm not going to show those. They're in the box. My kids constantly, they're just like, are you ever going to put those together? And I'm like, no. Maybe someday. But one, don't have the time. And I literally don't have the space to display the box. At least I have them sitting on top of a bookcase. So yeah. Boop, boop. But I have both of them. I have the girls' apartment and then I have Joey and Chandler's apartment. Or no, one is the coffee shop. One's the coffee shop. The other one is their apartments. Like I've got both sets and I love them. I love them. Do. Okay, add all my glue to the sentiment. Just like so. Okay. And then we're going to center this. And center that. Like that. Yes. There we go. And then commit. And then we commit. I just realized there's something called toxic positivity, but I know there's toxic paw with a PAW positivity. Truth. Yeah, toxic positivity is a thing. Like, I try to avoid being that person. I don't think I could be fully toxic. I'm toxic in my own way, you know? But, yeah, there definitely is toxic positivity. It's a little bit crazy, you know? Nothing is perfect. Perfection's overrated. Nothing is always positive. That's just is what it is. But there's always a way to look on the bright side and be positive without being psychotic. Anyway. Yes. Okay. So we got that. And then I want to add a bit of bling. And then we're done. Who'd have thunk? So while I'm adding some bling, which is I pulled out these Opal Pawsitively Dazzling gems. I use these a lot. And my little boot dish that Mari gave me. I love it. While I'm doing that, the unpaid intern can pick a winner, which I think that was one of the things I did forget to mention. It was he was putting it in the chat. And it was mentioned in the description box below. So I got to pick out a few little bits of bling here, and we're just going to add some of those like that. Let's put that one right. Get where you belong. Get over here. No. There we go. Add just a few. Okay. Yeah. So we'll add one right there. And then we'll add one right there. I kind of like it more like that. Yes, I like that. And yeah, they always look a little weird with my camera filming straight down, but as always, I'll tilt it in the light so you can actually see how pretty it is, because they're pretty. They're super pretty. So we'll Add a little dab of glue. And glue these guys into place. Just like that. There we go. And that one. And that one. There we go. Perfection. Okay. And then you put them back in the container so you don't knock them over, because been there. Get these guys where they belong. Doop doop doop. Lid. Doop doop doop. And we did it. We did it. And I didn't cry, so I guess that's a win. I can joke about it because it is funny. So there, my friends, is our finished card. And then when I tilt it in the light, you can kind of see that like opal prettiness. And yeah, I really love how the background that I stamped in the white pigment ink, how it did show like absorb into the oxides. You know, that's neat. I wasn't expecting that. And I'm glad it did it, because that's actually kind of cool. Because I wanted it to show up, a little more. It is like a background element, but how it just kind of peeks through. Sometimes inks manage to surprise me a little. So that was really fun. I love that. I love that. And then splatter, of course, and then our inside. Love it. Yeah, it's got to have something on the inside of my world anyway, you know? But yeah. And then a reminder, this stencil set and this thank you die set are currently on sale. No idea how long that'll last, whether it's while stock remains or, but I have the sale category also. Like I have the individual products linked, but I have the sale category linked below. Worth checking out because there's a bunch of stuff in there and you never know, they might add more. And then I do have that coupon code as well, because all Ranger Tim Holtz products that Simon Says Stamp, you can get 20% off, and that either will end tonight or tomorrow. I'm not 100% certain, but I've got the link for that and the code. Worth checking out, always. So that was all the little housekeeping bits. Let me switch over to... There I am. Hello.
Hello.
Do we have a winner?
We do.
We have a winner? Okay.
The winner today is Pam from Minnesota.
Pam in Minnesota.
Yep.
And as usual, I have not mailed out the last like 3 live stream winners. They're sitting here. Like always, I was always like, maybe this week I'll leave my house. Yeah, I will get it mailed out. I always do. I'm never sure exactly when I get around to it. Is what it is. But yeah, I hope to mail things out this week. We'll see. We'll just see what's going on. So yeah. Do do do. Do do do. Yeah, and I think that's everything. People comment about me doing the inside and the envelope. I'm surprised why. I thought it's becoming more the norm now. Honestly, I have no idea. I always do the insides of my cards. I've mentioned this. I talked about this before. I started doing the insides of my cards 20 years ago. Before I started doing like content creation, like blogging and everything else. Because when I first started getting into card making, I used to sell my cards. That's how I was able to pay for everything. Oh, yeah, because he's waiting so he can. The disembodied hand. Thank you to the disembodied hand.
Thing.
I like how you basically just like stand there waiting so you can wave.
Yeah, that's my contribution to the whole thing.
There you go. Yeah. Thanks, thing. That's what we need to get. I was talking about Halloween costumes for my like Halloween series. I need to get a thing so he can sit on my shoulder.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, about yeah. So that's what I used to do way, way back. Little baby me, over 20 years ago, and I would sell my cards. I had a couple local little shops where I lived, and one where I worked at. I was working at a little. It was like a video rental store that also sold bulk goods and stuff. and the owner let me have a container on the counter with my cards, and I would sell my cards. And every single time, without fail, a person would take a card out, because they'd be browsing through because I was like, oh, cards. And they would open it every single time to see what was on the inside. And yeah, if it was just blank, they would look at me and they're like, there's nothing here. And I was like, and it just always got me thinking. So then I started adding things to the insides of my cards. So phrases, bits of pattern paper, whatever. And I haven't stopped. And in the past, in some of my older videos, I used to go like all out on the insides of my cards. Like full on scenes, basically. Tons of pattern, like all the things. I don't do as much, but I always put something on the inside. For me, a card isn't done until the inside has something, whether it's just a stamp sentiment, a little phrase, or whatever it is I decide to do. Now, a lot of people don't do the insides, and that's fine. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's card making. You do whatever you want, But that's just my thing. I literally cannot finish a card until the inside's finished, which sometimes ends up actually adding a lot of time on my end because I do this as a job. But it's like, oh, what I'm building, and the phrases and all the things, and it's like I don't really have what can I put on the inside that will actually work? But I always find something, even if it's just a simple little sentiment, and then we're good. But people do what they want to do, and other people, because I never want to be like when I say a card for me is not finished until I finish the inside. But I don't want people giving, because I've seen that. Like some people give other makers grief because they're like, oh, you don't put anything on the inside, and it's like other people are a lot more eloquent than I am, so they will write things from their brains into their cards, that are great, and they have beautiful handwriting and they say nice things and all these things, and I'm just like, hi, I make card for you here. That's about as far as I go, because I just my brain no work very good, especially nowadays. So yeah, that's what works for me. It just is what it is, and it's fun. Yay! There's Pam. Yeah, I will hopefully get it mailed out to you. Hopefully this week. We'll see. And it takes a while to get to people, but we'll do that. And yes, yeah, a big thank you to the unpaid intern. It's gonna be. I appreciate him helping me. He can't help during all my bonus lives when I do those, because usually he's literally working or has different appointments, things like that. But we've made it work for our Sunday lives that he's able to sit in here with me, and it's kind of nice. Are you doing anything special with Simon Says Stamp for September? I don't know what you mean by special, but I put out a lot of content for Stamptember, and that is still the plan. Regardless, I work like a crazy person for the next September, October, November, December, 4.5 months, really, right up to the end of the year. This is the busiest time of year just in this industry. It just is. The releases and holidays, all the fun things. So I work a lot. It just is. September, I work like a complete and total lunatic. Nowhere to lie. No one forces me to, just to be fully clear on that. It's not like I'm being forced by any of the brands, Simon Says Stamp, etc. I choose to work extra because it's my Christmas budget. So all that extra content, the extra affiliate income, the extra AdSense, whatever, is my Christmas budget, because I got a herd of children. It's a lot. Christmas is big. So yeah, I will have a lot of content. A lot. So many videos. Last year it was 50, close to 60. I forget how many. It was a lot of videos. We shall see. I can't say anything specific. I'm starting to learn little tidbits, but I cannot say anything. I wouldn't anyway, because specifically with Stamptember, it is all about the surprise. It's all about the excitement. My lips, not saying nothing. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. We're going to have loads and loads of chaos and good things. And then I'm just scrolling through. Do. Yes. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Um, yeah. September is gonna be fun. And it's coming, man. 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks before that starts. So it's gonna be yep, yep. It's gonna be a lot. But it's also gonna be fun. It is fun. It's fun. And not just like Simon Says Stamp and Stamptember, but like some of the other brands I work with and like to use, um, their releases. There's a few things I know that are coming soon, and I have zero idea how I'm going to manage the things. I've said yes to a lot of stuff. I say yes to way too much. I overcommit. I can't help myself, but I love it. I love it. And especially when some of them, contact me and show me things. And I'm like, what else am I supposed, you think I'm going to say? How can I say no? I got to learn to say no, but I can't. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. It's crazy. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But in September, everything is sold out before I get home from school. The thing to remember with Stamptember, and I will be saying this as well as we really start getting into it with the collabs. For those that aren't aware, just a quick little refresher. Stamptember is an exclusive event through Simon Says Stamp. This is something that Heidi started many years ago, and it's only through them, nowhere else. And the big thing with Stamptember is she collaborates with a bunch of different brands in this card making industry, and they design and collaborate on an exclusive Stamptember stamp set. It used to be just stamps. Now, in the last couple years, there's also sometimes like a lot of coordinating die sets or die sets and sometimes stencils as well. And these exclusive collaborations are limited edition, one and done. When they sell out, they are not restocked. They're gone. That's it. That's it. Now, that said, the whole point of it all, too, is to kind of shine spotlights on these other brands. And they've got, and what they offer, what they have in their product line, everything else. So even when a collaboration set is gone, the brand always has like similar things, so many other things to choose from. So I do understand fully that FOMO, that fear of missing out and everything else. And the reason why I'm saying this now, and I will be saying it again many times, is because some people, not very many, but some people lose their minds. Just the amount of and when I say lose their minds, like literally like turning into like threats. It just it's stamps, folks. It really is. And and I'm not discounting those that, when something pops up and because there's those things. You see something and you fall in love with it. And it's like, oh, I love that so much. And then you miss out on it. It sells out and you can't get it. That disappointment is genuine. I'm not like to anyone over that. That's no. I'm talking about like people becoming unhinged and flipping out on me, other creators, the brand, Simon Says Stamp, etc. It just gets sometimes it gets nuts. Not always. It's just like here and there every once in a while. And some years it has been literal like anarchy, insanity. Like insanity. And I've had to deal with it. It has been, pushed onto me. It's been pushed onto other people, all the things. And it's like, there's no need for this, people. So the whole point is it's just supposed to be fun. It's supposed to just bring everyone together. And it's like, we're celebrating card making and stamping and die cutting and just having fun. Yay. So that's what I'm focusing on. The fun. Woo. And then me working like a crazy person. Part of me enjoys it big time. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm pumping out content like a nut job. And it's not. And the only reason, also a huge thanks, he's not in the room anymore, but Chris is what really helps me a lot to like enable me. Like, I live in this garage during Stamptember. Like, it's psychotic. He helps a lot as it is. We are partners and we make things work and we help each other and all this stuff, but I appreciate him. And it's because he helps me that I'm able to just pump out videos like you've never believed. It's nuts. And I enjoy it though. It's fun. It's fun. Silliness. I sense a Friends reference there with Wob. Yeah, pivot. Pivot. So yeah, it's just crazy, you know? But on top of the limited edition collabs, because again, those are their own category. And I have no idea. And I wouldn't tell you even if I did. Because again, nope, surprise. On top of that, there's other things that go on. It's not just those limited edition collabs that you can maybe get. There's all kinds of things. They have so many things of, like, Heidi is like the queen of surprises and like let's party hard for card making and all of that. The things that she comes up with and like does, there's going to be all kinds of things. Like they'll do limited edition kits, like big kits. There's like all kinds of other surprises. Who knows what she's got up her sleeve? Who knows? There's going to be all kinds of things. And there's always even things that I have no knowledge of. And then she's just like, hey, surprise. And it's like, what on earth? You know, it'll be fun. It will be fun. So we'll just see. And there will always be other things. Like I said, the limited edition collabs are their own separate thing. They're tons of fun and exciting. And I try to do a video for as many of them as possible. It's nuts, but I enjoy it. And then there's all the other things that are just available and will stay available, will be restocked, all of it. It's never the end of the world. It's all good. I think I explained it as good as I possibly could. And I do. I look forward to it. I enjoy the excitement. Like when I actually get to see the collabs and if, you know, when I get them in my hands, it is Christmas. That is my Christmas for me. And I'm always super excited and it's going to be fun. And there's also, just last of it, there's also the Simon brand, like the Simon Says Stamp brand, their release. They do a Stamptember release, usually at the very beginning of September. That's kind of what kicks it off. That stuff, that first, and it's usually the biggest release of the year. It's nuts. I do have it in my hands. It is really great. I cannot show anything. I ain't saying nothing, but it's fabulous. That one does get restocked. It's like part of the permanent line. It's not a limited edition, nothing. No, it's good. Kathy Zilski did some good things on that one too. That's all I'm saying. I'm very excited. We're all very excited. The disembodied hand is back. I'm still talking. We're just talking about stuff.
I can disembodied hand from the other side.
So much help.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, I need to wrap this up. I made a problem. We're gonna make butter chicken. Yeah. I was like, what do you want? He wants butter chicken. Yeah. I've been promising to make that all week, and then it's been like crazy, and he's been doing other things. Speaking of, life and chaos, and then so today we were like, we'll do the live. I'll do the things, and then we've got all the stuff. We're gonna make butter chicken because I'm making up a batch to feed an army because September's coming. Because we're gonna freeze. We put it in like individual portions basically and freeze it so that we've got a bunch of like ready-made meals for the chaos. That's also why we're gonna cook up a storm and make some butter chicken. I'm like really looking forward to that. I'm so looking forward to that. Yas. Okay. I think that was everything. Exactly, Louise. No matter what, it'll be smack filled with inspiration. And that's what really matters. And that is the literal point. More than anything is the inspiration. Because don't forget, like I'm just one person. I am just one content creator in this whole world. And let alone, and then you add in like Stamptember. There are many other makers that participate. There's other ones that do tons of videos as well. There is so much inspiration, on say just specific, like one collab set. There is so much inspiration that'll pop up the minute that set goes live, the amount of videos and Instagram posts and like cards and just so much makes. And again, take the inspiration, you know? The set will be gone. It'll be sold out at whatever point, doesn't matter. But it's like how that's the whole point in card making in general. But it's just fun with Stamptember because it's kind of more, well, it's more chaotic, more condensed in a way. But it's like, look at how all these people took this one set and what their interpretation of it was. Because that's why we do what we do, you know? It's like we all have this same stamp set. We all have the same die set. We all have the same stencil set. And yet you'll get a million different versions. That's what I love about this hobby. That's what I love about Stamptember, you know, because you just get so many things. What's butter chicken? Ooh, it's so good. It's so good. If you've never, oh, you need to get yourself to an Indian restaurant. Authentic butter chicken. The recipe I do is very, very simple. I can actually show you guys here. This is the one I recommend for those that are more... This is a good intro. Because when you start getting into some authentic Indian food, it can get real... It is very heavily spiced. And I'm a pretty basic girly. But let me... I'll show you guys my the recipe I use. This is what was the first time I actually ever tried. No, I tried it at like some random restaurant once, many years ago, and then I found this recipe, and this is the one I follow all the time. And I amp it up a little bit and spice it up even more. There it is. I use the recipe from. Here we go. The Stay-at-Home Chef. This one. That is the one that's the one I've been using for years. I don't need that ad. Leave me alone. But yeah, I mean, it's really simple, really easy. Nothing too crazy in terms of the ingredients. You got Greek yogurt, lemon juice, heavy cream, butter, or you could use ghee. I always just use butter. And then, yeah, it gives you even like mild, medium, spicy. Because I add an extra jalapeno. And same thing, I am not a big spice girly, but I add an extra jalapeno because I'm crazy. And yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And then, yeah, we make it and then we make a big batch of rice, you know? And then, yeah, the butter chicken after it's made, we freeze it in individual things because then we can just heat it up. And then so we just make rice in our rice cooker. Throw over some butter chicken, get some naan. You can make naan. Yum. And she actually has homemade naan recipe. That's one thing I haven't made. It's really easy to make naan, but yeah, it's super simple. But yeah, this is the recipe I use. And then I zhuzh it up from there. I add a little bit extra, usually a bit more paprika, a little bit more jalapeno, you know? And yeah, it's really good. And yeah, we do the good basmati rice, and life is wonderful. We're going to eat good tonight. I'm really happy. I'm really looking forward to it. And he helps me make it, which is good. He's my sous chef when I'm cooking. So he does a lot of the stuff that I just don't like doing, like chopping things up and stuff. So I'm going to have a good day. Everything's going to be great. So yeah, I highly recommend if you haven't had butter chicken, just try it. It's delicious. It is delicious. You know, you start with butter chicken and then you can start experimenting and trying other, you know, because once you get into Indian cuisine, they've got some good food, you know? And yeah, naan is, especially when it's authentic. If you go to an authentic Indian restaurant where they make it with that kiln type, I forget there's a name for it, but yeah, there's a place in the city that does that and they make the naan from scratch and then it's got like garlic butter brush on it and it's so good. It's so good. Okay, I'm going on about that. All of my lives turn into food. Everything turns into food, you know? But yeah, that's why he was literally like comes back in here and he's just standing there with like that expectation. It's like, what do you want? Like, we did the live, you know, we're good. And it's just like, that's right. I made a promise. We're going to make butter chicken. So yeah. Oh yeah, they all are. Vietnamese food, Korean food. Oh, there's a Korean barbecue place. And again, I am basic. I have been raised in Saskatchewan. I am like a meat and potatoes girl. I don't really venture out. I'm very picky. I'm very but Korean barbecue. I've been slowly learning new things and trying new things. Gyoza is my kryptonite. I love gyoza dumplings. Just yas, yas. Anyway, so many good things. So many good things. And then don't even get me started on Mexican food. Heck yeah. Anyway. Uh, okay. We're good. Amy's like just like getting into the weeds with food. It's life. Food is life, literally. I will do the photos and all the things, my social medias, and then stay tuned. After I'm done prepping with Chris for the butter chicken, um, I will have another video posted this evening. Because, like I said, I was saying it in the beginning for those that might have missed it. I was editing and I just need to get it uploaded and stuff. But I have another video coming using that and the mini distress oxides and all the things. Um, yeah, so that will be coming this evening. So fun. And there will be more content coming. Much more. Before Sunday, I have a lot. There's a lot of videos from me coming this week. There's a lot of things. Simon Says Stamp. It's already on their YouTube channel. They're going live tomorrow, Monday, at I think noon Eastern time. I think that's what time they're going live. Um, it's on their YouTube channel. I comment. I don't know if my comment even shows up on there anymore, but I already like left a comment on the live, in the chat. But it might because YouTube does weird things before lives. Anyway, that package is hopefully going to show up for me this week. I wasn't able because I was supposed to have stuff done for tomorrow to show to everyone. Um, it's not here yet, but I'm hoping it gets here this week. So I will have videos coming using that stuff. So if you go to the Simon Says channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's super exciting. And yeah, tons of things coming. I need to stop. I need to stop procrastinating. I gotta go. I gotta go make some butter chicken, y'all. And I will talk to you guys later. I will most likely possibly do another bonus live this week. I don't know what day yet. I haven't thought that far ahead. I know I'm gonna do one. I just don't know exactly when. So stay tuned. There may be a bonus live, and yeah, Paulette. I talked about dryer ink pads. They're not. They're not at all. You sometimes might think they are. Um, but yeah, the biggest thing you can tell, I guess, I'll end with this. Let's move that. So I don't. When it comes to an ink pad, if you think it's dry, because sometimes you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. You might think it's dry, but it's not. I know mine definitely haven't been. But if you think it is, have your re-inker. Shake it up really well. When it's oxide, you need to shake it up really, really well before you do it. If it's a regular dye re-inker, you don't have to do anything. But if you think it's dry, take your re-inker and add just a decent sized drop. Not like don't squeeze a ton, and if it immediately goes and the ink pad just soaks it up like immediately, add some more. If you add the ink and it's just sitting there for a while and it's just like very slowly soaking in, your ink pad is good. He'd be saturated. He'd be good. So that's the easiest way to tell. I don't have to re-ink mine often. But again, that it depends. It depends on the person. If that's your only go-to ink pads, I have so many options. It takes me a while to work my way through them, But when it's your only ones, you do need to re-ink them on a fairly often-ish basis. If all you have is minis and you use them a lot, but I have a lot of colors. I got a lot of options, and I literally have ADHD, so I'm jumping around doing everything. So I hope that explains it. And then I did talk about sort of dryer ink pads earlier in the live. And that was it. I'm going to go do some cooking. And I'll do all the other things a little bit later. And then just stay tuned. I got all my content coming. So I will talk to you guys later. I appreciate all of you. I love that you guys like sitting here and hanging out with me and chatting with me. They're fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. The support. I'm not a hugger, really. I'm not. I just, personal space, man. But hugs to everybody. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll have another video coming, probably later. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!